welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Vowz. It's your girl Flower and my amazing co-host and
It's your boy Marcus. What's going on, fam? Happy Sunday to everybody. Shout out to those birthdays today. Today was my mother's birthday. Shout out to them Virgos out there.
Happy birthday, Mom. Happy birthday, guys. We are so excited for tonight's show. This has been a hot topic in our house pretty much all week, I would say, guys. But if you were tuning in from, Facebook, YouTube, any of our platforms, definitely like and subscribe. And if you are watching, we definitely ask that you share this video tonight because it's going to get a little juicy. It's going to get a little spicy tonight. If you missed last week's episode, we were continuing, sexpectations, how you come to bed. And we were hearing from some people that are in our network, and they was like, man, that was super spicy. Like, we really don't hear a lot of kingdom couples talking about sexpectations. What you think about that, babe?
Yeah, for sure. It's kind of taboo to talk about that, especially in the Christian community. It's kind of like the bedroom is like off limits to talk about, but that's actually an extension of your marriage. Actually, that is a foundational point of your marriage is right. What goes on in the bedroom. I mean, that's not something that should be taboo. That's something that God wanted to happen between man and woman to solidify their bond together. You know what I'm saying? So it's definitely needed conversation. And people actually like it. Don't act like y'all don't like it. Y'all like that spiciness.
Yes, we know y'all like the spicy. We like the spicy. We like talking about it because it definitely helped our relationship grow as we, just started having those conversations, like what I do like, what I don't like, just different things. So it's definitely important for you to have those conversations with your spouse. Now, guys, tonight on the show, we're going to dive deep into, Come on over into my world. Get up on you. But guys, tonight we're going to be talking about really, are you preparing your daughters to be wives? I'm going to say it again. Are you preparing your daughters to be wives, to be wed, to be someone's wife, to not live alone? Are you preparing them to be wives? Why do you think this has been such a hot topic in our house or, this week, babe?
Well, for starters, I mean, we have 6 daughters,
right?
For myself, and eventually
7 daughters.
Yeah, 7 daughters. My bad. And the whole point of, and like we said, we're going to get into the intricate details of it. But as a father of so many daughters, it is my job to get them ready for their husbands, to model the example of what a good husband, a good man, a Christian man should be in the household. That's your job, fellas, fathers. I mean, you got to model that, especially you got little girls. And then you got those boys, you got to show them how to treat a woman, treat their wife, according to their mother and all that. So it's a topic. It's always been a topic in my house. I mean, I have little women, and I got grown women. So it's like, I talk to my grown girls, my teenagers. I talk to them all the time. And like we just had a conversation a couple of days ago with our oldest one that's in college. She's getting of that time, of that era. She's young, and it's like, hey, we're not made to be by ourselves. And I have a tendency. I see like these youngsters, these Gen Zs and millennials, man. They think like relationship is just a game out here. It's like hopscotch, in and out of the double dutch up there.
Well, I think it's more like a formula. And guys, if this is your first time tuning into Beyond the Vowz, Marcus and I, we have been married for almost 10 years. As Marcus stated, we have an XL family. We have 7 girls and 1 boy. And so here on Beyond the Vowz, we like to talk about everything that falls under the umbrella of faith, family, fitness, and finance. And so tonight recently we just been diving deeper into family when it comes to the husband and wife, and now family and how we are preparing our children to be great adults, to be awesome humans, but also are we preparing them to have dominion and to multiply with their spouses, right? Like Marcus said, it's almost like what we're seeing, especially because our oldest, she's in her early 20s. We are seeing that there are so many young women who they don't like marriage is not even, I'm not even gonna say young women, okay? I'm gonna say just, like Marcus said, a lot of the Gen Zers, the younger millennials that are, in their early 20s, mid 20s, and early 30s, it's like marriage is not even on the agenda. It's let me go get this bag, right? Let me follow my goals. And then after I've set myself up in life, let me go and then find a spouse once I'm in my later 30s or early 40s. Is that about right, Ben?
Yeah, pretty much. So by that time, it's like their selection of men might be kind of slim at that particular time, because you've actually, I'm not gonna say wasted, but you have used your prime years to turn up,
Right.
get the bag, hot girl summer, however you want to do it, instead of trying to align yourself in a relationship or find marriage or find you a suitable spouse during that time to build a legacy, build a family with.
Right. And I'm not saying anything is wrong, but I will say I'm not saying that anything is wrong, right? If that's what you want to do. However, if you have any type of goals or desires, I should say, to be with, to being a meaningful relationship, to have that family structure, what we're seeing and what we're telling our children is that this shouldn't be something that you push off, aside once you achieve those things on your own. Because there's so much beauty when, because Marcus and I got together. How old were we? We were in our 20s.
Yeah, mid late 20s.
I was in my mid 20s. Marcus was in his late 20s, and it was a beauty. We didn't even realize what we were doing, that we were setting ourselves up to progress together because we had individual goals, right? You had a career, I had a career, I had goals, business, all of those things, but we prioritize our relationship in the midst of our personal goals. Now, go ahead, man.
So let's get right into the meat and potatoes of this thing. How are you modeling? If you have children, raise your hand. If you got them older kids, them younger kids, what example are you setting for your children?
Right.
It's kind of hard to tell them to have a meaningful relationship or they should find a certain type of man or woman when they don't see that model in front of them.
Yeah.
Their first model, their first invitation to that should be you guys, their mother or their father, in a meaningful relationship. Now, whether the mother and father divorced through whatever trials and tribulations they went through, they should have some kind of model of some kind of healthy relationship to look forward. You got a lot of kids that's coming from broken homes, they're coming from single parent homes, particularly with the mom. The dad is not in the house. So therefore, they have an idea of a brokenness that, my mama's out here getting the bag. My mom's out here grinding, doing what she got to do, and she's raising me. I don't need to be with somebody to be happy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because, you got these movements now where and there's nothing wrong with self-empowerment and women movement and, trying to level up, be a boss babe and get your bag and all that. But we're made to be with somebody, That's what this platform is about. It's about couples, about relationship, about marriage. And we also look at biblical principle that is also biblical. We're made and designed for somebody. There's somebody out there that's made specifically for us.
Right.
And we should desire that and seek that.
That's so true. That's so true. And what we're seeing on the flip side of that, and we'll come back to it, but what we're seeing on the flip side of it, you have young girls who really desire to be wed. They desire to be a wife. A few of them out there. However, they're struggling in their relationships or to have meaningful in depth, like to go beyond the surface with a man because they've never seen it, a healthy relationship model between a man and a woman. Because a lot of us, and this was my mindset after my first marriage, like I said, when me and Marcus met, it was like
fireworks, y'all.
It was unexpected. I'll say that. Me and my first husband, I was prepared mentally, like a lot of women out there. After you get divorced and you go through a bad relationship, or you didn't had issues with your baby daddy, all of that, I was prepared to be single until my youngest, who is now before Marcus came, until she's 16 now. So the past 10, 12 years, my kids would not have seen a marriage. They would not have seen a relationship. I would have did what I did. I would have went out, had my mommy fun, all of that good stuff. I would have, but my kids would not have seen that side of me. And now that my kids have seen a healthy relationship, they've seen a healthy marriage, and I hear them talk about it, I wonder, where would they be if me and Marcus wouldn't have found each other? And they would have never seen me interact with the man in a relationship, just touching him, being submissive to him, knowing the roles between men and women. And, I know a lot of us have different beliefs, but you guys know that our family structure is based on biblical principles. And so we do believe that there's a role for the man and there's a role for the woman. And then individually, we have our individual strengths and weaknesses that we play to in our relationship. Now, let's talk about the young men out there, because we came across a group, guys, a couple months ago. Do you remember the name of that group, babe? Where the men were like, they were just like, they weren't loving the same sex, but they weren't loving the opposite sex either. They were just choosing to love themselves. Like literally, there's a group of young men, or just men across the board, who say, you know what? I know that I'm not attracted to men, but you know what? I don't want to be with a woman either. Because the mindset of so many women right now is so tainted that a lot of them don't even give good men, time. They don't even give them the time of day, because either their bag isn't where the women want it to be. They don't look the way that they don't look like every IG male out there. It's just so many different things. And so I was just totally blown away when we came across these group of men who were just like, you know what, we're done. We just want to be by ourselves. We can co-live with women, but we do not want to be involved. We don't want to have an intimate relationship with women because they've done us so bad. What you think about that? Or how did you feel when you realized that? When you find out about that group?
I understand where they're coming from. You got to go back. You like to go back. I like to go back. You got to find out why
the root, right?
The root issue and why people are the way they are. And so if you have a group of women, say for instance, so we're going to talk specifically what's going on. I'm just going to make it. So we're dealing with a generation of kids. Yeah, I know. We're dealing with a generation of kids where they come from a broken home. Mm-hmm. The father's been taken out the home for every reason. We know all the reasons: prison, drugs, incarceration, or parents.
He was just kicked out by the woman.
Kicked out because she didn't live up to a certain standard. Because then you got,
welfare came in.
Welfare. You got women that will specifically live off of welfare and not have a man in the house. Her man is the government. She getting that government check. She don't need no dude. So therefore, you got a bunch of kids raised under this mentality of these women. And so these women are teaching their girls that you don't need a man. You can be independent. You can get out here and get your bag. You can go ahead and grind and do all the necessary things. You don't need to wait for a man. So therefore, fast forward, these girls are growing up. They're leveling up. They're going to school. They're getting degrees. Now, by the way, it's ironic that most of the people in college are women. That's not by coincidence. That's what women are being taught. They're being taught to level up, be bosses, go get your money, go do anything you want to do, be independent and all that. On the other side of that, you have men who are raised by these same women who are kind of being stifled, and their masculinity is kind of in question because, they're being mistreated by their mothers, treating them like, I like to say beta men, where they're not dominant. They're not able to be a masculine dominant man when they're in the world revolved around women. You know what I'm saying? And women are suppressing their masculinity. So you got a lot of beta men walking around being raised by these independent women who kind of like they can't show them how to be a man. That's the thing. A woman, let's be honest, can't really divulge that type of information to a young man to be a man. He has to see a model of a man to know how to be masculine, how to be alpha, how to be a husband, how to be a father. A woman cannot do that. So if you have these fatherless boys out here, they're these betas, they're the ones that's kind of being submissive to the women, that's just kind of whatever she says goes. She's the dominant, he's looking up to her. Now you got these girls, like I said, they're independent, they don't need no man. You got these other men that are kind of inferior to them, they don't want them. So it's like these men are migrating together now, and the women are, it's like the men over here, women over here, they're owning their own exclusive groups, they're leveling up, but they're not coming together because they don't have that model of marriage these days. And it's kind of sad. And that's what our generation, and this is what our children are living up to, and it's not good. Like you mentioned, marriage today to these kids, and they're just like, "Nah, I'm good. I don't want to get married." Because I had this conversation with my daughter, and I said marriage, and she was like, "Ooh." Then I had to break it all down to her. Like, this is biblical things. This is like, and you got a good model in front of you. This is not something that you haven't seen or witnessed or experienced yourself.
Right.
So,
I mean, it really hurts my heart. And again, the topic of tonight's show is, are we raising our daughters to be wives, right?
And raising these kids, raising these sons
to be husbands,
and daughters to be wives. And the answer to that, I would have to say, is a questionable, well, undoubtedly a no.
Right.
Because there's too many kids walking around here, single, or they're dating each other, like, each other, mingling, not getting involved in long-term relationships. They even got a thing called a third. So it's like there's no exclusive relationship between a man and a woman coming together and having a meaningful long-term relationship. That's like unheard of these days.
Right. And then the second thing that we want to bring up when it comes to, are you raising your children to be wed or to ask for someone's hand in marriage, is, are you presenting them a toxic relationship? Because not showing your children a healthy relationship and showing them a toxic relationship is almost just as bad, right? If your child only sees you in a toxic relationship with your spouse or with with their other parent, that does just as much damage. And that's another reason why we're finding that a lot of our the younger generation, they don't want to get married because they saw their parents stick it out for the children. Right. But they know if y'all not sleeping in the same room, they know if y'all not talking, they know, even for our children, like we have, other couples that our children are around, and they'll be like, oh, they don't love each other, or we don't know how long and I just look at them like, how do you even measure that? And they say, well, basically they look at Marcus and I because they know that we are truly in love with each other and we truly love each other and we enjoy being married to each other. And that just exudes from our pores, from our actions, from our words. But until your children know if y'all can't stand each other, they know if y'all cheating on each other. They know if somebody creeping, dipping, they know, the kids know these things. And so think about that. If you're not able to present them with a healthy dynamic, then what's the point in keeping that union together if you're going to defile the union in the first place? If the only reason you're keeping that union together is to save face for your children, who are definitely extremely intelligent and smart, and they already know what it is. So you're just doing long-term damage, right? Because they're just seeing a toxic relationship.
So basically what we're trying to say is, and what the basis of the show is, we're trying to get couples that are in a toxic relationship, on the verge of divorce, not seeing eye to eye, and specifically if you have children that are looking at you guys, y'all have to get back to the newness, to the actual relationship, to come back together, to have a meaningful, happy, respectable marriage. We're not advocates of divorce. We're not advocates of separating, all that. Mm-hmm. You have to work through whatever it is you're going through. You're going to have to sit down, be adults about it, and have conversations with each other. And I'm a big advocate of counseling. Well, we're also understanding people leave relationships, then get counseling because they think they need to work on themselves. No, what you need to do is stay in your marriage, stay in your relationship with this person, and both of y'all go to counseling, and then you take individual counseling So she can do the work for herself, you do the work for yourself, and then you can come together and have counseling. And then I'm telling you, you will have massive breakthroughs. It's going to be difficult. We're not saying none of this is going to be like easy, like this is a cakewalk, that you're not going to argue. Even when you are on good terms and things are well, you're still going to have spits and spatters. Like today, me and my wife had a little spit and spatter. We always go through things. Nothing like that is not going to happen in your relationship. You're going to have that. That just comes with two different people having two different views on things. And you need that. You don't want to be with a carbon copy of yourself. Boring. So you're going to argue. But the thing is to be able to argue respectively, not to let it get out of hand, not to call each other out of names, not just hit below the belt and just like disregard the other person's feelings. There's a way to argue intelligently and tactfully and be respectful and get your point across without yelling, being disrespectful, loud, and obnoxious with your spouse. There's a way to do that. And counseling does help you do that. Hanging with other couples that you know are successful, have had years in this game, have done it, have executed, and you see the result of it. Those are the people that you need to surround yourself with. And I just want to say this, for all those single couples, for those young adults that are
single couples.
I said single couples. Those single kids, single adults that's out there that are thinking
single parents or just single like
parents. Single people that are interested in marriage and want to pursue a husband, want to pursue a wife. My best advice for you is to get around married people. Get in groups, go to church, go to fellowships, any type of meetings where couples are at. Yeah, it's weird for a single to be, but you want to have a relationship with, like if you're a woman, you want to surround yourself with married women. So you can ask questions and see what the things that they're going through, how they've overcome obstacles. As a young man, you want to get around married men to understand what to look for, how to lead your wife, how to be the head of the household. What does this feel like to, when I do argue with her or she tells me that, I'm not listening to her or she can't express herself. What should I do in those situations? Get around people that have been there and done that. The issue is single people want to get marriage advice from other single people. That makes absolutely no sense.
That doesn't make sense, right? That's just like if you're trying to be financially successful and you're constantly getting advice from your other broke friends, people that are in the same boat as you. It's not insanity, but it's pretty darn close to it by you getting advice from someone who hasn't been there and done that or who's not actually doing it. All right, guys. Now, the next tip we want to talk about when it comes to, are you preparing your children? Are you being a good example? Are you setting your child up, your children, your young men and your young women up to be married? Is, are you presenting multiple people to them? And they're confused. Like I watched this video, this Instagram video. And the young lady literally sat in her car. It was a really nice truck, y'all. And she leaned back and she said, y'all, it's stepdaddy season. And she's literally said, it's stepdaddy season. Okay. She has 2 small children and she was just going on and she was bragging about how it was stepdaddy season, how it's, the winter's coming, the weather's about to get all brisk and cool. She didn't separate, got a child support from her last baby daddy. And now she's like, heck, it is stepdaddy season. It's time for me to find some more victims, some more men. And she's like, it's cool. Post my baby on your story. Post my baby on your Instagram. Share my baby, because it's stepdaddy season.
Jezebel's beard.
How you feel? Did you say Jezebel's?
That's what it is.
How you feel about this stepdaddy season? Do you think that it's setting your children up?
This is the craziest thing I ever heard in my life.
It's true though. It's just I appreciate her boldness and her honesty.
I mean, she's being honest and being
it's stepdaddy
She's
season.
saying things that most women won't say.
Right, they doing it but they not talking about it. It hasn't been a label on it. But we are women, y'all know that you call him the uncle, or he my friend, or he this. It's like we definitely have to stop introducing our children to so many different women and men, right, that are not their parents. And it's cool if you, like, it took me a long time to introduce Marcus to the kids. a very long
So
time.
why is that important though? Why is it that, you got small kids or any type of kid of any age? Why do you not think it's a good advice? I mean, good reason.
I don't think it's good because again, your kids are sponges. Your kids are watching you. Like
Mhm.
even when I was getting abused and I thought my baby was in the back seat, she said, "I saw him hit you," and that stuck with me. Like, and my baby was only like 4 or 5 years old. That stuck with me.
Oh, they be
So I'm
looking
like, if she saw him hit me in a moment, I know she's paying attention to who I'm bringing around her,
for sure.
who mommy is interacting with. And so it's so important. Just like we said, your kids are gonna do what you do more than what you tell them to do, right? Your actions weigh more than your words with your kids. So just like we said, you not having a relationship, that ain't good.
That speaks
You being in
volumes.
a toxic relationship, that ain't good,
That speaks
right?
volumes.
But you being a revolving door for men and women coming into your life, and especially when you doing it to get back at your ex, like, and taking the baby on all these play dates with different, like, come on, y'all. We're not setting our children up for healthy relationships that will progress into marriage. We're not doing it. But especially as women, we got to watch who we bringing around our children, because the young girls, I don't know if it's the GMOs, I don't know if it's the vitamins, I don't know if it's the air we breathe in, but these babies are developing at a very young age. And so we have to be mindful of who we're bringing around our children, because most of the time when a child is abused and things like that, a lot of it happens at home. A lot of it happens when around people that they trust. Right? And so it's major that you don't bring an outsider in. And that just increases the ratio of things to happen to one of your babies. And so it's so many different things that you open yourself up for when you constantly introduce new people that you haven't even fully vetted. You may have been intimate with them, but just being intimate with somebody is not vetting them. How many of y'all didn't slept with somebody and then you found out they was crazy later? Come on now. If we could just be honest. If we could be honest, like, I didn't know he was gonna act like that. I didn't know she was like that type of crazy.
Right.
But after we sleep with that person and share ourselves with them, we create that soul tie with that person. We think that is cool to open our children up to that as well. And it's not. Just because you didn't open up yourself, or sowed your seeds with that young lady, that don't mean that your baby's got to experience that person. That don't mean that person is even worthy of being in your child's life yet. We rush so much. Everything is just moved so fast. I know I just said a mouthful. I got on my soapbox for a moment, but that is just we got to stop introducing our kids to people so soon.
Facts. So basically, with the young girl she was talking about, you can definitely
stepdaddy season, y'all.
You can definitely sense, and a lot of you got people like that that's dealing with a lot of individuals that's giving their body, their womb, their you know what I'm saying? They're broken. They obviously they're hurting. They've probably been in a relationship they cared about and got disrespected. Mm-hmm. So now they're on, I'm gonna get them before they get me. I'm gonna get my bag before I get them. She was kind of where she dealt with high men of value. Well, I would say that had high incomes. She was looking for a financial come up. She was having kids from guys and putting them on child support. That's been her MO. That's nothing new. She's an IG person that's been saying this thing, and she trapped somebody, had a baby, and now he's got to pay out the wazoo a month for child support.
Ridiculous amount of money. And now she's bragging with his new baby.
Exactly. So like I said, she's broken. And when my wife made a good point, and young ladies, you have to vet. When you're dating, a lot of people don't know how to date. It's like you really have to take time to get to know somebody. You got to start small. You might want to go to a coffee spot that, it's not going to be expensive. You sit down, have a conversation, ask questions, especially if you know what you want. If you want a meaningful relationship, or you want marriage, or you want children, or, you know what I'm saying, you may want to move to here, you might want to do this. These are times that you got to have and be upfront with the person you're talking to or dating. You got to ask those uncomfortable questions. A lot of us get caught up in the looks, in the package, and we just enamored. We like, damn. And it's like we will go along with all type of fluff or whatever they're trying to sell us,
right?
Because they look a certain way. And it's like you didn't even. They've given you all the red signs. Like we saw something the other day where there was a girl and a guy, and she was actually trying to pick. It was like a show, and she had like maybe 8 guys to pick from to go on a date with. It got down to the final 2. There was one that you can actually tell that was in it for love. The other guy was in it basically for money. This show is like either, you know, they give the contestants either you pick love or you pick money first. And then they can't change their answers once they get to meet the person. And they might like them, but hey, you were in it for the money, so you got to stick with your money thing. But anyway, so there was 2 guys that was at the end. You could tell there was one that was really like he was really into her. He was like, I'm about love and a relationship. Like I'm in it for the long haul. And the other guy was more of an attractive guy. He was tall. He had that look that she liked, and she was just like all enamored by how he was looking. But he literally told her, like she asked him about a relationship, and he's like, oh, when I date for happiness. You know, it's nothing too heavy. I mean, if it does eventually get to marriage, it's cool, but that's not really what I'm looking for. And she was just like, oh, okay. Wonderful. And she was just looking at his body. And then that's the guy she picked, and he went for money. The guy she let go was the one for love. So it's like, you got to vet these guys, vet these girls. You got to date long than just like a half a second and now y'all in a relationship and y'all having babies and stuff. Like, no, you need to slow down and get to really know this person. You need to get to know their family. Do they got their mama, their daddy, what their relationship
like? What type of crazy
what's going on with them? Like, and specifically, like, how was your last relationship? Their last relationship will tell you a lot about what your relationship is going to be like with this person. Like how they broke up with them, or if they broke up or the other person broke up with them, are they still a factor? Are they crazy to have that stalker? Are they like, there's a whole bunch. You need to look before you leave. And that's the problem. We don't. And I'm speaking from experience. Everybody didn't done that. You know what I'm saying? So we're trying to educate the young guys, these young kids into that stuff. It's like, look, you got to vet. You got to ask those questions. You can't just be like, oh, he's a 10 or she a 10. And I don't want to lose her, so I'll put up with all the type of BS. Yeah, I don't want to, I want to get married, but, they say they don't want to get married right now. So maybe if I play the part, maybe they want to get married. No.
Or you think that your ish is so good that you're going to change their mind. I'm just saying, there's so many of us women who think that
that woohoo.
You think that woohoo is so good that you're going to change his mind, or you're going to change the type of man that he is. You think that, just so many things. But at the end of the day.
So I can tell you from experience, I'm a man. Women, you're not changing a man's mind. If he doesn't want to do it, he's not going to do it. You can't make us do a damn thing unless we want to do it.
Oh my gosh, this guy right
So you got to find the one that's going to do it.
Oh my goodness. I know we got to get ready to take a, Lisa say what a bet. I know we got to get ready to go to break, guys.
I ain't talking about pulling no pistols out, cussing them out, and all that. No, you shouldn't have to do all that to get no man.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. We'll be right back, guys. Beyond the Vowz with Marcus and LaFlower.
Life is better when you are living on purpose, but many times we get stuck in the rat race and in the mundane task of our day-to-day lives, causing most to lose sight of their purpose. That's why certified life coach, inner healer, and business strategist LaFlower Bowie is here to help you get calibrated to your calling through proven systems, techniques, and resources. Order a copy of her book, Principles to Reposition, to assist you with your journey, or schedule a free clarity session to kickstart the journey. After these sessions, clients have stated they found clarity and open their eyes to things they had long forgotten. So get social and follow LaFlower on all social media platforms at LaFlower Bowie. And don't forget to mention Stunner Radio sent you.
Welcome back. Beyond the Vowz,
hey guys.
Marcus and LaFlower. If you just not tuning in, man, I'm just going to wrap up basically our first segment, what we talked about. My wife brought up a good point. She wanted to talk about, are we setting our kids up for success in marriage, in relationship? Are we modeling what they should be wanting in their relationship? Are we setting a good example for our young women and our young men? Because basically right now, I feel like relationships are in jeopardy.
Right.
Marriages are in jeopardy. And we need to get back to the basic, which is love, commitment, all that good stuff. Getting back to the unity and oneness. And it's like, what do you think about it?
It's hard. It's hard, guys. It's hard. And so we brought up some pretty good topics, you know, just really pretty good tips, things to just think about. If you are one of those people like us where you desire for your kids to have a healthy, meaningful relationship after they, you know, become adults. You know, so we talked about modeling, you know, that good family structure, having them see you in healthy relationships, even if you're not with their other parent. We talked about toxic relationships, not allowing them to see you stay stuck in toxic relationships, because we've seen so many millennials say, well, you know what, my parents just stuck with it for the kids, or they stuck with it for the finances. And I'm not living my life like that. Or like, I don't want to feel stuck. And then the last thing we talked about was, not bringing too many people around your kids too soon, right? Because we seen this girl say it's stepdaddy season, you know, because the winter's coming, the fall's coming. And then the last thing I want to bring up before we transition into our last segment is your kids feeling like marriage is stuck. Guys, have fun. Especially to all my saints, all my holy couples out there. Don't be so holy that you can't have fun with your spouse. Yeah. Don't be so tied up. You know,
tight. Right. Period. Loosen
up, guys. Have some fun. Let your kids see you having fun with your spouse. Y'all go on some trips. Do some stuff. You know, do something to make your kids feel like y'all are not stuck. Don't talk about, you know, your spouse to your kids behind their back. You know, things like that will make someone be like, ugh, why would I want to stay with the same person for all those years? And we find that seed has been planted by spouses. And a lot of times it's planted by wives who are encouraging their girls, like, go out and do this. Go, don't be like me. Don't get married too soon. You know, go out there, achieve your goals. But as a woman, as a wife, when you present that message to your kids you're making them feel like you regret a lot of stuff, like you're feeling stuck. Y'all, I will tell you, I was a single mom of 3 kids in my early 20s, mid 20s. And I'm so grateful that I found this man, because if my plan would have went the way I wanted it to, or the way that I had it set up in my head, I would still be single now. When my youngest would be going to college in a couple of years, I'll be close to 40 or in my 40s. And then I will be looking for a husband. And that's not cool. That's not cool, because my kids didn't see me enjoy anything with the man as they were growing up. So don't preach to your kids that being married or in a healthy relationship has you feeling stuck. What do you think about that last point of?
I definitely agree. And I think there's certain women that's out here resenting the fact that they got married early, that they won early, found them a good man, and feel like
you said they won early? What that mean?
They found the one. They found a man that they can build a future with, to have a family with, but yet they still feel like they
missed out on something.
Yeah,
Is that what you're saying?
The kids call it the FOMO, which is the fear of missing out.
Oh, FOMO.
So therefore, they teach their kids, their daughters, that, oh no, you need to always, just don't settle down, be strong, independent, all this, but yet you have a man. You've been married for 20 something years. Why are you preaching to your daughters or to other young ladies to still be independent, not to rely on no man? Because I do feel like there's a certain type of women out here that when they do find love early, they do find that relationship, they feel like they missed out on something. Like they could have been out at the club or hanging out with their homegirls and doing all this kind of stuff. And they resent the fact that they feel tied or stuck in a marriage. But I'm telling you, you're not really missing too much, because you can try divorcing or leaving your husband and see what the dating pool is out here, what that's like without your husband or without your wife. If you want to exit stage left in this relationship because you want to turn up now that you've been together for like 10, 15, 20 years, you're like, you know what? I'm gonna live my life right now. And it's like, get out there, and it's like, you're already old, you're dusty, you're not young no more, and you out here trying to date in the club, in the bar. No, that's not cute.
That's just not a good look right now. It's like I couldn't do it. I'm so grateful that
don't take your spouses for granted.
Right.
Love them, appreciate them. I don't care how long y'all been together. It's a beautiful thing. Like I said, we on Beyond the Vowz. We preach and we love good relationships and good marriage. So I got to stick it out for these kids, basically.
So
we're going to move and transition into some fun, into these questions. My wife got the ACE metaphor, relationship, debate questions. And these are some crazy questions that get you thinking in your head that a lot of people don't even think about in their relationship. I've never even had these issues, never even heard of it. And, you know, they just crazy. They just make you think, because they come out of left field with stuff. Like, for instance, this is a good one. Your parents say that they will disown you if you continue to date your significant other. Would you continue your relationship? Your parents said, if you can continue to date this young hussy over here, I'm going to disown you.
What would you do, Marcus?
Oh. Well, you already know me. You already know my relationship. Hey, mom, dad out there. We've already been through this. I'm definitely riding with my significant other. You know, it's biblical. Like, I'm gonna leave my mother and father anyway to be with my spouse. I'm leaving one family to create my own family. That's what I gotta do. So it's like, I look at it like this. There's probably obviously a reason why my parents may not like her, but they don't understand this is my journey. This is my relationship. I'm pretty sure their parents didn't like the BS they went through, but they're together.
Right.
So I understand they're looking out for me. They want my best interest, but this is my walk. This is my journey. And if I'm really cut for this girl, she's cut for me, and for whatever reason they just don't like it, they're going to have to just grow to like her.
Okay. I think I feel the same. Because I know there were, particular person, my mom, did not like me dating, but I continued the relationship. And I'll say this, like I was telling Marcus, even with our kids now, I'm having to trust the God in my kids and not worry and not stress about things. So even today, if one of our older kids brought someone to us that,
we're going to say, as parents, like I said, your parents going to say their piece. They're going to say whatever they don't like. Right. That's what parents do. And they leave it up to the child to make that decision. Because I'm going to put it like this. For me, if I said, my mom and my dad came to me and said, hey, we don't really appreciate or really like this girl, she's not a good fit, we can't support this relationship. And if I break up with this girl just because of my parents, that means I have given my parents the authority over my life, over my love life, to at any point come and stick their nose all up in my business and think it's okay to tell me what I need to do in my relationship.
And that's a whole nother show that we got to do. It's like when your in-laws are in your marriage.
Absolutely.
That's a whole nother show. That's a whole nother show. But yeah, so we know that ain't happening. Next one. A woman says she has lost all respect, y'all. A woman says she has lost all respect for her man.
Oh, it ain't gonna work.
Can the relationship be salvaged? I'm gonna read it one more time. A woman says she has lost all respect for her man.
No.
Can the relationship be salvaged? I would say it depends on how and why she lost respect for him. It could be the fact that he has a mother that he's allowed to poke in their relationship or his relationships throughout the years. And maybe he decides, you know what, Mom, I'm not going to let you do that no more. So in instances like that, I think the relationship can be salvaged. Why you say heck no?
I mean, anything can be salvaged. Let's be honest. I'm going to say, yes, it can. But I'm going to tell you, when a woman loses respect for a man, it's pretty much done. She doesn't look at you anymore like a lover, like a spouse. You are now just another Negro on the street.
Another man on the street.
I'm sorry, another man on the street. You have now been demoted, basically, and it could be from a whole bunch of things. Like you've overpromised and underdelivered. You're not keeping up your word. You're doing other stuff that you're not supposed to be doing. You're lying. You're cheating. You're doing all this type of stuff. And yes, over time, she's going to lose respect for you. So I am going to say, the relationship is pretty much going to be over if your spouse, your wife,
has lost respect for you.
I mean, it's pretty much a wrap. She's just, and then that's when she's going to start talking to you crazy, having attitudes with you. Your relationship is going to be different. And the spiciness in the bedroom is absolutely it's going to dry up.
There's no spice.
So that's what I'm saying. It's a wrap.
No spice.
No respect. It's a wrap.
All right, y'all. Here's another one. Again, these are relationship debates, okay? So after a hard breakup with a toxic person, you start to fall for the ex's best friend. Would you consider the best friend off limits, or would you go for it? So after a hard breakup with a toxic person, you begin to fall for that person's best friend. Would you consider that best friend to be off limits, or would you go full force?
Okay, wait a minute. So you saying I was in a toxic relationship with a young lady.
Excuse me.
We fall out, and then I start talking to her best friend.
Right. Would you say the best friend is off limits, or would you keep going?
Hell, no, I ain't messing with the best friend. Because they best friends, they tight. If she toxic 9 times out of 10, she crazy.
You think she
might be toxic. Birds of a feather flock together. Well, but I mean, even if she's not toxic, she is cool. That is just going to be an uncomfortable relationship. If me and her friend have already had a bad relationship, she's toxic. Our relationship was toxic. It was horrible. It was just horrible, and it ended horrible. It would be kind of weird for me to start dating the best friend and think that my ex is going to be okay, and she's not going to come but herself and make her presence known in our relationship.
You think so?
Oh, yeah, they're going to stop being friends.
I would say, yeah, I mean, he would definitely be off limits. It would just be too, because the circle would be the same. You know, if I break up with somebody, I don't want them in my mix. I don't want them to know what I'm doing. And it said best friend. So.
But that kind of makes you think like, dang, you've been signed on the best friend the whole time?
I don't know. I do not know. All right, guys, here's our next question for tonight. You're in an official, you read this one. Oh. My bad.
What's wrong? Why you want me to read it? Setting me up? No. You're in an official relationship with a person, but they repeatedly introduce you as a friend while at a holiday family gathering. Would this bother you? Hell yes, it would bother me.
Repeat it.
You are in a committed relationship with somebody.
Okay.
They know you're in a committed relationship with them.
Okay.
Every time you get around their family, y'all go to different functions, or basically when you're out in public where there's a group of people that y'all know or they know, they refer to you as, oh, this is my friend, LaFlower.
So they're saying, would the relationship be over? Or would that bother you?
Would it bother you?
I think it would bother me. It depends on the time length of the relationship.
What?
Honestly, it's like, are we exclusive now? Because
it says you're in an official relationship.
Oh, okay. Because right now it's different phases of relationships.
Nah.
No, you know how right now in the dating world,
it says official relationship. Y'all boyfriend and girlfriend, y'all hooked up.
But are they exclusive? Because right now you go through different phases in relationships.
I'm gonna go with
exclusive official. Because it's different. Hey, that's what's going on right now.
We talking about what this show's about. It's an official relationship. What are you talking about?
Okay, official relationship. Lisa is a man.
Yeah, when y'all get back home, you can be like, no, we're friends. Especially when they trying to get back, like, hey, what's up, baby? Like, remember I'm a friend, right?
I think it would bother me, but I would ask questions. I would dig. And I would say, what's going on? What questions are you asking? I'd be like, so, bro, I noticed that every time
it bothers you. It will bother you.
Yeah, it would bother me, but at that point, I would ask questions. Maybe there's something deeper there. I don't know. Okay. Next one, guys. Your significant other forgets your birthday. What happens next?
What? Your significant other forgets your birthday?
Yeah. It just says, what happens next?
I'm going to miraculously forget your birthday.
Oh, so you're tit for tat.
My spouse forgets my birthday. That better be a heck of a good reason why. Like, you had to be hella busy to forget my birthday. But really, that's really hard to explain how you could forget someone's birthday.
Yeah.
This depends. Now, this matters on how much time you got into it. If this is in the beginning, I'm probably gonna be like, yeah, you don't really rock with me like that. You don't really care. So it'd be kind of like I'm thin nice. Now, if we 10 years of the game and you forget my birthday, then I'm gonna be like, what? It ain't never changed. We've been together for 10 years. We've been together for 10 years. The day has never changed.
I think it would be a roadblock in the relationship that I don't know if I would ever forget. If you just forgot.
Oh, yeah. Women, fellas, if y'all forget your wife, she is not gonna let you forget.
Birthday, anniversary, all of that.
So I will say this: you forget my birthday now. I know one thing: if we stick this out, you're gonna have some making up to do.
Now, I guess let's just define forget the birthday. Is it just like nothing, or like just forgot? Like you didn't even acknowledge it?
Do you remember like on Tyler Perry on Why Did I Get Married? She forgot Terry's birthday.
Oh, that was horrible.
She was working. She was working. She was working a lot of hours. She literally forgot. Her homegirl had to remind her. It's like, oh yeah, by the way, tell your husband happy birthday. And she was like, oh my gosh, that's today. She literally forgot her husband's birthday was today. I can say like maybe you busy, but all I know is you forget my birthday. Yeah, I'm gonna feel a certain type of way. So you're gonna have some making up to do.
I don't know. I think I would be hurt. I don't know.
But you're not. Is that a deal breaker? Is that like a relationship like we over?
I mean, if we married, I'm not going to divorce you. But if we not,
what if we just dating?
Then I would slowly step away from it.
That's what I'm saying. Time in matters.
But it also depends. Like, yeah, if we were like serious, then yeah, I would question that. All right. Next one. If a man proposes to his girlfriend and she declines, is the relationship over? If a man proposes to his girlfriend and she declines, is the relationship over?
Yes.
What?
If a man, so I'm gonna tell you like this: if a man proposes to his girl, that means they've had enough time into the relationship where he values her, he sees her as a wife, he's in love with her, he's going to honor her and respect her with himself to be that man he needs to be. He's gonna get down on one knee. First of all, he went and bought a ring. He set up probably some kind of situation where he's gonna get down on one knee, and he's probably gonna surprise her with this proposal.
Okay.
And she says no. So, yeah, that's pretty much telling me that this is what you can look at it. Yes, I would say the relationship is over, but also too, you got to consider like how soon did you ask her? Have y'all had this conversation already? Did she say she didn't want to get married?
Right.
If she didn't say it. Now, if y'all haven't had these conversations and you propose and she says no, but if y'all had this and she's like, okay, but then when it comes out, she says no, then yes, do it.
I got you. What if he proposes as a Hail Mary to save the relationship after he's cheated?
And why do you always come up with these?
I'm just saying, because we see this, like, guys, like, you didn't cheated and cheated and cheated.
So he's cheated and he's like, oh, I got to keep, because he's about to leave me. I'm going to marry her.
Yeah. Like, I'm going to
propose. She says no.
Let her know I'm.
And she declines?
Yeah.
The relationship is pretty much over. Because she's not going to be with you.
I hope she wouldn't.
What y'all think? If a man proposes, she says no, isn't that pretty much the relationship is over, right?
Yeah.
She don't want to get married for any reason. She's not ready. You're not the one. She's not feeling it, and she's not going to do it. So it's like, it's pretty much self-explanatory. The relationship's over.
Right.
Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. It's done.
But what if, now, would it be over if she accepts and then declines?
What?
Like, what if she accepted it like publicly because she didn't want to embarrass you?
That's even worse.
But
so you're gonna put up a front in front of, like, if I have an engagement and I surprise you and my family's there or our friends are there,
right?
And you like, yeah, and then after she's like, no, that's even worse.
But what if she was doing it to help you save face?
Nah. You ain't doing that to save. She's doing it to save face. You just crushed all my little heart and just kicked it out.
But what if you were?
But then I got to go back and tell my family or my friends, like, hey, it's actually off. The proposal is off.
Oh, no. I'm just saying. All right, y'all. Last question of the night.
Oh, we got one more?
Here, you read this.
You're always setting me up with these crazy ones. Your best friend admits too often I can't even talk right now.
Daddy can't talk.
Your best friend admits too often fantasizing about you and your significant other and asks for a threesome.
How I didn't know that was there.
Exactly. You didn't read the rest of this question.
Take off the three-way. Take off the three-way.
Nah.
Kids may be watching. Take off the three-way.
So it's you and your spouse, and you got a friend that's been fantasizing.
They're attracted to both of you.
So they've asked to be a part of your relationship on an intimate level. How would you respond?
That would be a no, sir, or no, ma'am.
Absolutely, yes. Like I brought up earlier, there's a third. There's a thing now where, I mean, it's not even a thing. This has been going on for ages, for centuries. But what'd you call it? Polly what?
We're just gonna call it third.
Okay, it's a third. This ain't nothing new. As you know, third, there's 3 people. So do what you want with that. But that would be absolutely not in
that's a whole nother
my relationship.
Show.
I'm not inviting anybody into my bedroom along with my wife or my significant other. It's not going to happen because that just opens up a whole plethora of problems you're probably going to have.
Right.
Because somebody's going to get left out.
Right. At some point, somebody's going to get left out.
Mark my word. Somebody's going to get left out. You can try it. It might be fun, but somebody's going to get left out and their feelings are going to get hurt. And it's going to cause a rift in everybody's relationship with each other. It is.
It's going to, that small time.
But I would be actually shocked if my friend came to me and was like, hey, I've really just, been feeling a certain type of way. That would really shock me.
What if it's one of your female friends, though?
Either male or female. I'd be like, really? Now, I can probably guarantee you our relationship will probably change.
Of course it would change. You'd be like,
especially if we're not down for that. I mean, I would try to keep it normal, but I know if I tell her or tell my spouse, she's probably gonna be like, okay, you cannot invite this one over. She's like, a no-go. I don't need her looking at me, and I definitely don't need her looking at you.
Yeah, like we go in our room
and that just basically means she just took it from friends to another level. So it's like, that's what I'm saying. You can't really go back to being friends once you just told me you find me attractive or you've been fantasizing about me and you've been fantasizing about my spouse. It is no longer a friendship now.
No, that's weird.
Once we say no, it's pretty much like we're acquaintances, hi, bye, and passing, and that's it.
Right.
And or it's like we're no longer going to be kicking anymore.
Right. I'm going to tell you, like, nah, you need to go ahead and block and delete completely.
So I would definitely tell you, if you're the friend, you better choose your words carefully and make sure you're making the right decision because you could end up losing a good friend.
Right. Sometimes it's best to just keep that stuff to yourself, especially if you know the type of people that they are. If they're not known to do stuff like that, then I would probably keep it to yourself because you probably won't get invited to a lot of other functions, to say the least. But I know we got to get ready to go, y'all. This hour has gone by so fast. Mm-hmm. Oh my goodness. Tonight we have talked about, are you preparing your children to be wed, to be, husbands and wives? We jumped into some crazy debate questions from people turning down engagements to hooking up with the ex's best friend. Like, is that cool? Which it's not, right? Too much extra stuff there. But guys, we appreciate you for rocking it out with us for this past hour. We appreciate you.
Appreciate you guys so much. Thank you guys for joining us on a Sunday
On
evening.
a Sunday night.
You could be watching football, cooking, or even spending time together.
With your
But
boo.
We appreciate you tuning in for some good
Conversations.
Convo. Thank you guys.
Thank you guys. And remember, never settle.
Always take it to the next level. Until next time, peace.
Good night, guys.